Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Bunker. This is a little different. It's not actually going to be a review of a film. We're closing in on episode 200 here, and I just wanted to talk a bit about kind of why I do what I do, or what goes on in the mind of a critic, or also that, hey, I really don't know shit. So, I have people come up to me all the time, and by all the time I mean, one time last week, and by people I mean one guy, and he sits there and he goes, how can you bash a film like The Hobbit and talk about how much you hated it, but then you enjoy a film like Expendables? Okay, well, it's a valid question. And the thing is I judge different films different ways. A lot of it is based on what I expect to get out of it. The reason I didn't like The Hobbit so much is partly because I am a big fan of the book The Hobbit. And I also think it's a subpar movie based on a much better book. Expendables, I got exactly what I expected going into it. But the thing is do I think people who like The Hobbit that there's something wrong with them? No. I got lots of friends who like The Hobbit. That's the joy of the things. Is as a critic, or the reason I do this is because I love film. And on an even more basic level, I love stories. It means I like books, and I like film, and I like TV, and I like games like Dungeons and Dragons and Shadowrun because it's all about the story. I love the story. I love talking to people, and I love discussing the stories. That's what I like about film, is that there's so much discussion in it. You really get to talk about a lot of things. About, you get people who like a movie and people who don't like a movie. And that actually is good for the community in general. If everyone liked the same thing, so if you all liked what I liked and hated what I hated, well then really you would just be me. And if that were true, most of you, your old clothes wouldn't fit you anymore. You'd have to buy a whole new wardrobe, which would kind of suck. And then you'd have to date people who look just like you, which would be really kind of weird and creepy, and I'm going to have nightmares about that. But the thing is that, so I got, like, my friend Mark the Movieman. Mark likes a lot of films I can't stand. The Fast and the Furious movies. He loves those movies. He enjoys them. Do I think there's something wrong with Mark because he likes those movies? Absolutely. I do think there's something wrong with him. But it's not so much there's something wrong with him in that he's wrong because he likes those movies. It's more that I feel he's wrong because I'm right. Does that make sense? Of course it doesn't. It's that I have my taste, he has his taste. And this should be common sense to most people, is that you're not going to like everything that everyone else likes. Mark likes the Fast and Furious movies. I don't. But there are going to be films I like that Mark doesn't like. He didn't care, he didn't hate it, and I was razzing about it, but the first Thor movie. He liked it but didn't love it. I loved it. And the thing is that we have those differences in opinion. That's what makes film so much fun, is you can have those differences, which in general causes difference in film. If everyone, for example, liked tentacle sex movies, everyone liked tentacle sex movies, we would get a lot of tentacle sex movies. That might be all we get. And the problem with that is some of you might be saying, well, that's no problem. I love tentacle sex movies. I'm thinking most of you don't. I'm willing to go on a limb and say most of you don't. And that doesn't mean that I'm saying that those of you who like tentacle sex movies are wrong. You are. But the thing is that if that's all it was, after a while you'd go, I've got 738 tentacle sex movies on DVD, and they're kind of starting to be all the same. It just, it kind of starts off with the girl, and then the tentacles, and it doesn't seem to branch off from that. And that's the problem. If everyone likes the same thing, is we'll always get the same tentacle sex movie. We won't get anything different. No one will push boundaries. No one will try something different, because why? If you know what everyone likes, you don't need to change anything. It always stays the same, and it stagnates. And everything that you like then becomes dull and boring and trite and just useless. And then there's no point in even making anything else, because it's all been done, because there's just the one thing. Does this mean I think films like Epic Movie need to be made? No, it doesn't. But then again, there are people who do enjoy those films. I cannot fathom the reason why anyone likes a film like that. But that's part of the difference. I know people who can't fathom why I like, for example, any of the, Waiting for Godot, Waiting for Guffman, or, Spinal Tap, those types of movies. That's fine. You can not like what I like. I will allow that, because you need my permission to do this, apparently. And the thing is there's a different scale for film, at least for me. If someone has $200 million to put into a picture, yeah, I want something other than just pretty effects. Unless it's like in Expendables movies where Expendables, I knew going in, this is going to be corny and cheesy and just ridiculous. And I got that. But if you're going to do some huge epic film and spend $200 or $300 million, so you better hire a scriptwriter. And the opposite is true with, someone who has $50 to spend on their film. I'm not going to sit there and bash about how the sets looked awful or, well, that makeup job wasn't good. Yes, I will treat, I'm burping too, I will treat the independent filmmakers on a different scale. I'm not going to say a lighter scale, because I will hold them up more to having a better story, because that's something they need to do. But I will always give them credit for going out there and doing it. Because there's one thing, this is something I hate whenever someone criticizes something, it's usually something more artistic, like film or a painting or a book. People say, well, why don't you, if you're so smart, why don't you just go out and do your own? Why don't you make your own painting? Why don't you do... All right, first of all, I did make my own movie. Is it the best movie ever? Close, but no, it's not. But I had fun doing it, and I learned a lot doing it, and I know that there's a lot I can improve on. But that's not the point. Pardon me. The point is that you can criticize something, provided you're criticizing it for the right reasons. There are right and wrong reasons to criticize things. If I buy a new house, brand new house, and the first thing that happens when I close that door is the house collapses, I'm pretty well within my rights and ability to say, that's a pretty poorly built house. It does not mean I need to know how to build a house to know that. That's a shitty house. I can say it's a shitty house. But with film, it's even a little more different. Film and television and books, because to a degree, no matter how good or how bad a film is, to a degree it is still art. And that means that people will have varying opinions on it, because there is no absolute right or wrong answer, though Serbian film comes pretty close to a wrong answer. Pretty close. But there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to that. There are things that you may like and things you may not like. And yes, a lot of this is common sense again for people, but the thing is that some people, they don't like critics. And that's fine. You don't have to like us. And you don't have to agree with us. The thing is this is one person. This is a microcosm of this film. This is my opinion of this film. You might agree with me. You might not. That's fine. This doesn't, change what I do. I'm still going to keep doing what I do because I like doing what I do. And I like the fact that it encourages discussion. And I like the fact that I have friends who go, well, you were nuts for not liking that movie. These are the reasons why I liked it. And I don't do it all the time in reviews, but I try to give reasons why I didn't like something or why I did like something. Because that's where criticism works. If you can say, I didn't like A, B, and C, but I did like, D, E, and F, that's criticism. That's useful criticism. Just sitting there going, it sucked. It's not really criticism. You're not really... yes, it's still an opinion. You can say it sucked, but it doesn't say, well, what sucked specifically about it? People, want to know, why do you think it sucked? Why did you think it was great? Because that, if you say it sucked because, the special effects, the CG was awful, and the acting was terrible. It was wooden, the dialogue wasn't well written, the characters had no chemistry. That type of criticism, people are going to go, all right, well, acting is important to me. So if the acting is terrible, it's already going to ruin the film for me if the acting is bad, because acting is the most important thing for me. Or, if there's bad CG, it takes me out of the story and it takes me out of the movie and I can't get into it. Those are important things. That's good criticism, because someone then might say, yes, the CG wasn't great, but you know what? The acting was phenomenal. And the script, oh my God, this was such a well-written script. And the ending was just so perfect for the film. That's good criticism, and I'm trying to do that more. And a good critic will do that type of stuff without generally spoiling it. You can spoil things in a different way, but when you're reviewing the movie, you want to try to not spoil it, because you don't want to give those things away. And saying, oh, that twist at the end, that's a spoiler. That is a spoiler. Saying there's a twist at the end, you don't have to tell me what the twist is, because now I'm watching for the twist through the whole fucking, where's the twist? I know there's a twist coming up. Is this the twist? Is he really a man? Is that guy dead? It ruins a film for a lot of people. And there are people who will bitch about spoilers and say, well, then you should go out to see it. Fuck you. Fuck you for that. If you want to do spoilers, fine. Tell people you're doing spoilers. Don't just fucking go there, hey, you know what? This movie just came out 3 hours ago. I saw it already. And, Bob dies, right at the 44-minute mark. You're an asshole. Don't do that. I try to tell when there's spoilers in my reviews. And I don't know. It's just, I hope that you stick around with me for another 200 episodes. And I actually plan on branching out from just doing film. I want to start doing some other things and reviewing some games and reviewing some books and just talking about other things and doing more stuff. And I've been having so much fun doing these podcasts I do the Film Jerks with podcasts where we talk about films. We just covered 2 completely different spectrums of basically horror films. We did House of Whipcord, which is a 1970s women in prison kind of, but not the way you're thinking of, where it's the an hour and 20-minute long shower scene and then the end. This was more of it's just a story type thing, a little drawn out, but still a decent film. And then we had Zombie Ass, Toilet of the Dead, which is a Japanese how disgusting can we be film, and boy do we love asses and things that come out of asses and ass monsters. And I love doing that stuff. And I got the spoiler room I've been doing, which I don't do enough, but everyone's so busy. And then, there's Astro Radio Z, and I love doing these shows because everyone has their own opinions, and that's great. And I love being able to discuss these things. And yeah, it's it feels, vindicating when someone goes, "You're absolutely right. I hated that movie too, for the exact same reasons you did. I thought that the story was terrible, and I thought, the lead actress she just could not deliver her lines, and I think she was stoned the whole time." And I love when people says, "Oh, but you missed this. How could you not like the movie when it had this, and you completely missed this underlying point, the whole, sub-story that was going on, you missed all of that." And I love that because it's actually changed my opinion on some films. And it's that discussion which is just so awesome with this type of stuff. It's the fact that we have these different opinions, and those opinions actually can change people's minds on film, because you can sit there and go, "I never looked at it that way. I never thought about it in that way." Or, "Oh my God, you're right. That doesn't work at all. Why did I think that was good?" That's what makes this job so much fun. And job, actually now I do get paid for it because I earned like $1.17 off my Hobbit video. Thank you, suckers, for making me rich. I will be doing this for my solid gold bunker soon. And suddenly I'm Hulk Hogan, brother. I gotta stop ranting, stop talking, because my voice is still not fully recovered. But I just wanted to talk a bit to you people and kind of tell you why I do what I do and how I kind of come about what I do. And then I'm going to be here for a while. And if you don't like that, then you're probably not watching this anyway, so I don't fucking care what you think. I appreciate all of you that watch this and all of you that spread the word so much. And I say how, I do this for me and I do this for me. But I as much as I do it for me, I like the fact that there are other people who watch this and enjoy it, or even people who get mad at me and want to cuss me out. That's great. I like the fact that there are some people out there who find humor or just enjoyment or even just information off of what I do. That makes it even more worthwhile. So, thank you all. That's all I have for this. It's just a rambling mess. I do that. But hey, that's me. And you're not me, so stop wearing my pants, because they don't fit you. I have a much bigger waist than you. So, that's all I have for this one. Why don't you all stay safe out there in the wasteland, folks. Yeah. I'm a big fucking deal. Better fucking believe that. I have made one short film. I'm fucking amazing. Ish. Maybe. Meh.